Alright, hello and welcome to my first video on my channel. I'm your host, Cowboy Connor Matthew Marion Riley, with you guys' daily videos about my sports, philosophies, and my interactions with global events. And, like, firstly, let me just say this. I was not the one who got me into, like, podcasting or YouTube videos or any of that, like, any of that. It was actually my dad that wanted me to start doing this stuff. So we were like in a Walmart, right? And by the way, this is like one of the most Oklahoma stories of all time. We were in a Walmart and like we're listening to this sports channel in Oklahoma and he just starts talking to me about like what's my interactions with this stuff, like what's my thoughts on what the guy was saying. And here's the thing about this guy was just blatantly wrong. I don't even think he knew where like James Madison's conferences, which by the way, that's just like sad. That's just sad. Like that's basic sports knowledge. So, I just wanted to start, and apparently since knowing where James Madison's conference is, which by the way, that's the Sun Belt. Apparently that's such great ball knowledge. It's great sports knowledge. My dad's like, "Yeah, you need to start doing this. You need to start having a podcast." And I'm like, "Okay, you know what? I love talking. I love talking. I love hearing myself speak. So, you know, yeah, yeah, we'll just give this a shot. Anyway, let's just move on. So like some of the groundwork on what I'm going to be covering over in this like channel or YouTube podcasting, whatever, is basically going to be, and we're gonna do this in like ratios or no, let's do it in percentages, right? So basically, we're gonna be doing 80% sports, which again, I'm gonna get into which sports I like to cover, what I like to watch. Okay, I'm not gonna cover Princeton versus Merrimack State. Ain't nobody want to watch that, and I don't want to talk about that. Okay, so we'll get to that bridge when we get to that bridge, and I'm gonna do about like 15%. How would you say, like, thinking, 15% like philosophy. I guess that's how we want to say it. But because like I do a lot of thinking and I have a lot of insight, right? And I know you guys go through a lot of stuff. I go through a lot of stuff. It doesn't matter. But mostly we're gonna stick to sports. And by the way, when I say like 80%, it's probably gonna be like 90 or 95%. But I also like this is another passion that I have is philosophy. You know, it's one of the most important things about our life. It's about not. By the way, did I say 15% and 80%? Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. Crazy. It should be 80% and 20% because those are the only two things I'm going to be covering: sports and philosophy. Those are the only two things I'm going to cover. But it's going to be like 90 or 80% sports. All of it's yeah, a lot of it's going to be sports. Sports is what you guys come for. Sports is what I want to talk about, and that's what you guys want to listen to. Anyway, let me give you guys a little bit of the rundown on what would you say, like a base of operations, and get a picture in your head because this is what I'm saying. So I like to operate with one of those like spinning black chairs. Y'all know what I'm saying. And I have it written down. It's the Bauer Lavier microphone, which, by the way, is placed directly on like a capped hat of what I'm talking about all the time. Which, yeah, that like it's gonna correspond with what team I'm talking about or like what I'm discussing. But another thing, like that's just like what I'm dealing with, right? What I'm looking at. I'm going to try to keep this as non-scripted as possible. I mean, this is the only video that really has kind of like a rough script. And besides that, guys, I'm gonna be like casually talking. I mean, I'm gonna have some like notes here and there, like some notes that I write down, something I want to talk about. Like if I want to talk about how deep this Oklahoma Sooners defensive tackle line is, I'm gonna have that written down. But I'm not gonna have anything scripted, right? Like when I'm talking to you guys right now, it's like somewhat scripted, but it's not scripted. Come on, come on, come on, come on. And like, by the way, guys, right now, I'm just kind of giving you guys rough concepts. Rough concepts. We'll figure out this. We'll figure out that style. You know, And another thing, something else to write down is something else not to write down, to think about is that I'm gonna have a lot of these videos out. Guys, I'm gonna try to make two, maybe like one a day, maybe two a day, maybe three a day. Why not? But I'm gonna try to make these videos out. I mean, I look at so much of my inspirations that I've taken in now content creation, like um Santi's app. The guy does daily videos. That's insanity to me. Pat McAfee, very consistent uploader. Um, a lot of these guys on radios, very consistent. It's that mindset. It's that mindset. Because consistency is going to give you guys anywhere. Anyway, moving on. That's just my core philosophies. Let's move on. Let's move on to what you guys want to actually talk about. Let's move on to what I'm going to cover, which, it's going to be a lot. It's going to be a lot. There's going to be a lot of things to talk about. Guys, if this is going to be daily, I'm going to talk about a lot of different things. And not to mention, y'all, when I say that my ball knowledge is deep, it is deep, deep, deep. Let's start off with the basics. Everybody loves American football. I love American football probably more than you do. And that's what I'm going to revolve myself around. But you're probably wondering, like, why pick you, Cowboy, Connor, Matthew, Marion, Riley, over all these other people, Wow, I just said all over all these other people, all these other teams, Pat McAfee, all these guys. I mean, it's interesting, but it's a really interesting question. So, one of the main things I'm going to talk to you guys about is going to be the Oklahoma Sooners. And I know there's a ton of podcasts about the Oklahoma Sooners. There's tons. But here's the thing about those Oklahoma Sooners podcasts. They're not deep. They're very, I think this, I think that, I think this. I'd love to go on one of their podcasts, love to talk to them, look them dead in the eyes, and ask them, do you know who Ivan Carrion is? What is Ivan Carrion's strengths? Do you know the upsides of our offensive line? Do you know who Ryan Fodge is? Logan Howland? Fubuchi Nawau? Now the answer to that question is very simple. Let me look at my notes. Let me tell you guys this right off the top of my head. I can tell you any upside about any Oklahoma football player right now. I mean, I was listening to these guys earlier today. And they were talking about, oh, I've already brought this up. It made me so upset because it made me realize how thin-minded these people are. They didn't know where James Madison plays. They don't. That's elite ball knowledge. Apparently, it's basic sports knowledge. They don't know where Arkansas State plays. They don't know where Kennesaw State ranks. They don't know the travesty that's going on in I want to say it's like Missouri State. Yeah, it's Missouri State. That's that's just disgusting. That shouldn't they should be bowl eligible. They've earned it. But why you should watch this channel, why you should keep up with me, is I'm going to always be improving. Always be improving. Always. This is going to be the worst that you guys are going to see me in. B is, guys, my ball knowledge is deep. It's deep. It's deep and it's bold. And you're going to find out. You're going to find out. I study these things. And I watch this game of football. And I watch the game of hockey. And I keep up with all this stuff. I keep up with this stuff every single day. Every single day. Last year, college football, I watched anywhere 11 o'clock to 9 o'clock. Past that sometimes. I don't know if you guys watched last year. It was Washington State versus San Jose State. That game lasted, I want to say, until like 1 o'clock. I watched that whole thing. So 11 o'clock to 1 o'clock. I mean, that's 14 hours, right? 14 hours. Guys, college football is my life. That is my life. That's what I'm going to be talking about. Hey, what are some of those teams I'm going to be talking about? Well, Oklahoma. I've already brought them up. Sooner born, sooner bred. When I die, I'm sooner dead. 2013 is when I started watching the University of Oklahoma's football program. That's 12 years. That's 12 years. I could tell you every quarterback, Blake Bell, Trevor Knight. That's apparently. I was talking to some guys. They don't even know who Trevor Knight is. Come on. You call yourself a Sooner fan. You don't know who Trevor Knight is. You don't know who Spencer Rattler is. It's just kind of sad. Just kind of sad. Ever since 2017, I don't know if you guys really, really saw this. By the way, give me a little example of how deep my ball knowledge is. 2017, Brewer faking the punt return in 2017 for North Texas versus Arkansas. And man, you want some like passive respect. I've had that passive respect for the North Texas Mean Green until 2022. That's when I was watching them. I was watching, I want to say the Outland Bowl. They played against Miami of Ohio in 2021. And I don't know who it was, but it was somebody that caught something, but it was clearly out. Clearly out. But ever since, there was like two games where you see two things of shenanigans going on in North Texas games. Ever since that day, ever since those two games, I've been watching the North Texas Mean Green. I'm enjoying what I see when I watch this North Texas Mean Green. I have some hot takes on that Mean Green team. I really do. A lot of them revolve around that boy, Drew Mestemaker. You know, and I think the final team in college football, I'm going to be covering other college football teams, but the one I'm going to really, really focus on, it's got to be like that D2 Wazoo. D2 Wazoo. Stealing everything from South Dakota State. And man, I really started getting into Washington State football in it wasn't 2022 because 2022 I started watching North Texas. It was 2023 with that Cam Ward squad because I watched 2022. I watched Washington State versus Wisconsin. Wisconsin, big favorites. And I don't know why. There's nothing else on. So I watched Washington State versus Wisconsin, watched that whole thing, and Wazoo won. So 2023 comes around, same quarterback, same elite system, and I was just like, you know what? I've got to watch Washington State versus Wisconsin. And guess what? Yeah, I mean, you can pull it up. You can look it up. You can look at anything. Washington State won that game as well. Ever since that day, I've been a Coug. I've been hardcore in them. Right now, they suck. I mean, like they just suck. Um, I think that's just. I mean, this is college football. This is college football. I mean, everybody in college football is good. Everybody in college football is good. I don't think that there's a single player, which, by the way, a lot of these other podcasters do. A lot of these different videos, they sit down and then they like point at this player. He sucks. You suck. You suck. You suck. You should be fired. This is like they're so negative, right? Like all of these guys are all elite talent. They're all better than the people that are talking, right? I mean, it's just like, hey, Washington State this year, they're not good. Like, they're not good in comparison to other college football teams. But that doesn't give anybody the right to just sit down and berate them. I mean, come on, guys. Come on, guys. Anyway, that's going to be a stance you guys clearly hear. I'll defend my players. I'll always defend the guys I'm talking about because I have a high respect for anybody that's really, 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 dedicated this much of their life to them. I don't see other people doing. I don't see, and I think that's kind of disgusting. And anyway, let's move on. What other low-key programs I'm going to be talking about? Well, there is a very, very hidden group, and that is the people that watch hockey. I love hockey so much. It is like crack cocaine. Hockey at its best is the funnest sport in America. Hockey is great. And I'm so glad that there's a hockey team near me, and that is going to be the Dallas Stars. I've been watching the Dallas Stars since 2021 in that masterclass of a series versus Calgary. Masterclass of a series versus Calgary. Went to 7 games. Jake Ottinger, goalie, incredible Game 7 performance. Johnny Gaudreau, disgusting goal there at the end. Broke my heart a little bit, but we are all sports fans. We've all felt that before. We all just kind of, when your heart breaks, you love the team even more. And honestly, Jake Ottinger, all-time game. All-time game. I still think you guys should go back, watch his stats, watch that guy's game. It's ridiculous. But, man, there's 82 games in a hockey season. I watch all 82. And honestly, I started watching all 82 because of Victory Plus. If you don't know about Victory Plus, I think Victory Plus is like the last bastion of hope. And anyway, I'm gonna also like keep up with the big games. Your like those big games like Ohio State, Michigan, and Edmonton, Florida, Colorado, Winnipeg. Those big games that I'm gonna get to. And finally, I'm going to keep up with the WWE. I've loved the WWE since like not Clash in Paris, but Clash in the Castle last year, I want to say. Ever since when they were on like Peacock. Now when they switched to ESPN. When they switched to ESPN, I got that hot take. ESPN's better than Peacock. But ever since then, I've kept up with it full time. Ever since then, I've kept it up with it full time. Now that y'all know what I'm going to be talking about, you know what I'm about. The final thing that I'm going to announce is that I'm going to have like some predictions with Raw. And honestly, I'm gonna like see if I like this Raw, see if I agree with the booking decisions. And also it's near my home in Tulsa, Oklahoma, so I mean, hey. That's gonna be the first thing that I'm covering. Have a good one, and I will see you probably, or I guess like I won't see you. Yeah, you know what? I'll see you guys at like 10 o'clock. Have a good one, y'all.